Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Concerts of Real Estate, welcome to this special presentation of Dynamics of Rapidly Growing Economies in Asian Countries, featuring members and special guests of our Asian Pacific CRE chapter. Thank you for joining us. I'm John Yamaguchi, CRE, the 2025 Liaison Vice Chair of Global Affairs. The Concerts of Real Estate is a distinguished solution-focused consortium of accomplished advisors addressing real estate challenges worldwide. We're experienced, innovative, principled, and credentialed problem solvers. Counselors reside in 22 countries, practice in many more, and they offer expertise in 60 real estate disciplines across all asset classes. Each has earned the prestigious CRE designation. Let's recognize our sponsors for this event, Equus Capital Partners and the Real Estate Limited Partner Institute, RELPI. Thank you for your partnership. Before we begin, I'd like to offer you a free digital subscription to the Concert's peer-reviewed professional journal, Real Estate Issues. It's been named one of the top 10 essential real estate publications in the U.S. Please visit cre.org to subscribe. In this third session of a series of APAC webinars, we turn to the Philippines, Cambodia, and Indonesia to assess the real estate markets, economies, and political systems of these diverse and culturally rich countries. This session has been pre-recorded due to time zone constraints. I'd like to introduce Isobe, CRE in Tokyo, founder and fellow of Japanese Valuers Company, Inc. Hiro is founding chair of the new Asian chapter. The Asian Pacific chapter has 15 members and growing fast. Welcome, Hiro.
Thank you, John, for the introduction. And thank you, everybody, for joining the third webinar hosted by the Asian Pacific chapter of the CRE. I'm Hiro Isobe, a chapter chair. As John indicated, today we would like to focus on the rapidly growing countries in ASEAN, the Philippines, Cambodia, and Indonesia. You may or you may know, but the ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, consists of 10 countries, including Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia in Southeast Asia. It represents a population of more than 300 million and land area of over 4.5 million square meters, GDP of around $4 trillion in 2024, which is approximately the 4% of the global GDP and the same amount of the Japan's GDP. According to the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the global economic growth of 2025 is forecasted to slow down to 2.8%. But believe it or not, Philippines is forecasted to grow at 5.7%, Cambodia at 6%, Indonesia at 8%. Please remember, 2025 GDP growth in the United States is forecasted at 2.8%, and Japan is only 0.6%. Now, let me introduce today's moderator, Takashi Nakazawa. Takashi is the head of international relations at the Japan Valuers Company Limited in Tokyo. And he has been very active in valuation and counseling in various countries, including US, Europe, and many Asian countries. He became the CRE last year. Takashi-san, can you start the session?
Thank you very much, Isobe-san, for your starting remarks for this webinar. As introduced, my name is Takashi Nakazawa, a certified real estate appraiser in Japan, and I'm a CRE member since last year. I'm very honored to be a part of this session as moderator, and I'm very much looking forward to having presentations from distinguished panelists representing each region, the Philippines, Cambodia, and Indonesia. Let's start with the Philippines. The panelist is Ms. Marissa Benitez. I have been long known her, and she's certainly a VIP in the region in real estate industry. Marissa, please start with your self-introduction at the beginning. Please take it away.
So good morning, everyone. I am Marissa Benitez from the Philippines. I am currently a consultant for valuation services of Colliers, Philippines, and holding also the position of chairman of the Philippine Association of Realty Appraisers in the Philippines also. I also am recently I've been dabbling in consultancy work with the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and other development partners globally. So for this session, I'm going to share with you a snapshot of the Philippines, and hopefully you can glean information about our country. So we are going to, I'm going to start with a Philippine overview, and then a Philippine real estate market capsule taken from the Colliers research team, the legal aspect of real estate in the Philippines, and the recently most controversial topic of impact of tariffs on the Philippines. And then we're going to go forward to the conclusion. So in terms of geography and demographics, the Philippines has a total land area of approximately 298,170 square kilometers, with a population estimated at 116.8 million, giving it a population density of around 392 people per square kilometer. In terms of urbanization, the Philippines is about 49.3% of the population that lives in urban areas, and the median age is 26.1 years, indicating a young population. So in terms of the cities in the Philippines, we have 1/3 of the Philippines population reside within Metro Manila. Manila, which is the country's capital, is the most densely populated city. And then we have Davao City, which is the biggest city outside of the metro. And Quezon City's population also within the Metro Manila is expected to reach 4 million by 2025 and 2030. So as you know, the Philippines is an island country comprising of 7,641 islands located in the Pacific Ocean and are broadly divided into 3 principal geographic areas, which is Mindanao, Visayas, and Luzon. Our political system is a unitary presidential republic with our current president, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., who was elected in 2022. And then Vice President is Sara Duterte Carpio. And the legislature is the bicameral Congress. We have a Senate with 24 members elected nationally, and the House of Representatives. We have at least a total of 317. So the judiciary is headed by the Supreme Court, and the elections are held every 3 years with the president and vice president elected for a single 6-year term. Now, in terms of the GDP growth, we are projected to grow by 6.1% in 2025. And in credit rating, Moody's has given us a Baa2 rating, and our inflation rate has eased to 2.1% in early 2025. Unemployment rate also has dropped to 3.1% in January 2025. The key economic sectors that we have is services, industry, and agriculture, with services including the business process outsourcing or BPO. And then we have finance and tourism. For industry, we have electronics and manufacturing, with electronics comprising 63% of exports, and agriculture include coconut oil, rice, and bananas. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a very young population, and it has become one of the economic strengths of the Philippines, with a very young English-speaking workforce. We also have strong remittances from overseas Filipinos. So we export Filipino talents, and it comes back to us in terms of dollars. We have a growing digital and infrastructure investments, and we have a very strategic location in Asia Pacific. The Philippines is also a member of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, boosting trade and investment. Now let's proceed to the Philippine real estate market. And as I mentioned earlier, that most of this has been taken from the research team of Colliers. So this includes the residential office, retail, logistics, hospitality, healthcare, investment market, and the REIT. So in a nutshell, we have a sustained transaction activity in Metro Manila for offices, although this was affected drastically by the exodus of POGO, or the Philippine online gambling operators, which had to go by end of December of 2024. But this is the expansion of the notable BPOs has given the needed boost for the office sector. As you can see, that this is the historical Metro Manila office supply, demand, and vacancy, and you can see that since the pandemic, the office market in the Philippines is trying to recover after the pandemic. But then again, as I've mentioned earlier, this was affected by the POGO. So we have here the headline and transacted rates. So from different sectors of Metro Manila. So it ranges from a low of 450 in the area of Alabang, south of Manila, and with a high of 1,300 pesos per square meter for Makati CBD prime buildings. For residential sector, the only sector which is really sustaining the residential segment of the Philippines is the luxury. So it's the share of the luxury market is to the new Metro Manila launches is a big boost to the residential market. And developers are cornering demand outside Metro Manila, and these are mostly for horizontal projects. And since there is a soft demand for the condominium market in terms of the residential, the developers are offering very soft terms in terms of ready for occupancy units. So these are the vacancy. So we have a very high vacancy in terms of the residential sector, a 24.5 overall average for Metro Manila, and it's expected to even rise at 25.8 by the end of the year. So why have we shifted to lots? So that meaning we have shifted from the vertical to the horizontal markets is because of the sustained price appreciation, a greater push for sustainability, and bigger and more open space, and also because the Philippines has finally gone into the development of infrastructure outside of Metro Manila, improving road networks to and from Metro Manila. So the vacancy in Metro Manila condo units remains elevated, and the condominium yields have gone down because of this vacancy. So we can see that there is a flattish Metro Manila condominium yields, as I've mentioned The reason is due to the previous slides that I presented. So in terms of the hotel sector, tourist arrivals are behind target. So our Department of Tourism is looking at other markets. And the low foreign brand penetration in the Philippines persists. So investments in terms of coming in terms of foreign brand, is still not that sustainable. But there are more MICE facilities in the pipeline, and hopefully this will give a boost to the flattish performance of our hotel industry. So in terms of performance, the Philippines trails behind our ASEAN neighbors. So you can see that Thailand is way up ahead, with almost at the same rate as Malaysia. And we are right there behind Indonesia and Singapore. So that's that means that the Philippines has not recovered after the pandemic, because these are still our pre-pandemic performance. So Travel and Tourist Development Index by 2024, you can see that the Philippines is at -2 at 69. So but in terms of occupancy for our hotel operators, we have a sustained occupancy rates with an average of 64% for all segments. But we are proud that there is a penetration rate now of high penetration rate now of branded hotels. We are Marriott is right now with six of hotels in the Philippines, Hilton International with 2, IHG at 3, Accor at 10, Ascot at 5, and Radisson Group at 2. So although it's not that very impressive, at least we're getting some attention from the international brands for our hotels. So in terms of the domestic tourism boom, our local travelers are the one that's giving the boost for tourism. So you can see that there is a growth in domestic tourism expenditure by 16.4% in 2024 from 2024, and then a share of tourism to GDP in 2024 from 12.9 in 2019. So the overnight travelers in 2023 is from 39.9 million in 2022. So these are the different tourist spots in the Philippines, and you can see that the main attraction is always Cebu. So what are we looking forward to the Philippine hotel sector beyond 2025? A relentless MICE demand, expansion and diversification of foreign markets, greater public-private initiatives, improving regulatory environment, foreign arrivals behind government target, and more modern and expanded airports to accommodate more travelers. So the industrial sector, on the other hand, it's still Central Luzon, or a little north of Metro Manila. The industrial competitiveness is crucial in weathering the tariff impact, and the land lease extension to likely benefit the industrial sector. So you can see that in terms of industrial rents and vacancy, we are also showing a double-digit vacancy rate except for Metro Manila, with an average of 15.6% for the total country. So what are the profile of the locators that recently took up space in Central Luzon? This will be the EV batteries, the electric vehicle batteries, safe and steel manufacturing, semiconductors, fiber cement products, tire manufacturing, pharmaceutical, cold storage, luggage manufacturing, and food and beverage. So as you can see that the new tariff rates on US imports has are still we are still mulling whether there is a great impact on our own country, and with us having the lowest tariff rate within our among our peers, among our neighbors, with a 19% tariff. So in terms of land and building registration, our land registration is governed by the Presidential Decree 1529, ensures that once land is registered, the title is indefeasible and protected against adverse claims. So in terms of building, we have Republic Act 7160, also known as the Local Government Code of 1991, where the issuance of a tax declaration is a function of the local government units. And then we have the condominium titles, which require a master deed, a declaration of restrictions, and HLURB registration. The governing laws include the 1987 Constitution, the Civil Code of the Philippines, the Condominium Act, and then in terms of ownership, we have individual or full ownership by a Filipino citizen, co-ownership or shared ownership governed by the civil code rules, corporate, which allows 60% of shares are Filipino owned, and condominium, where foreigners may own up to 40% of units in a project. So definitely foreigners cannot own land directly in the Philippines, but exceptions will be the former natural-born Filipinos. They can own up to 5,000 square meters of urban land or 1 hectare of rural land. And then corporations may own land at least 60% Filipino-owned. And then in terms of inheritance, foreigners may inherit land if they are legal heirs. In terms of condominiums, foreigners may own units up to 40% of the total project, as mentioned earlier. And in terms of leasing, foreigners may lease private land for up to 50 years, renewable for another 25 years under the Investors Lease Act, or RA 7652. And right now, there is a move to extend this the period of lease to 99 years, and it's still up for passage of the legislature. So in terms of development and building regulations, the zoning and land use is regulated by local government units through the comprehensive land use plans. And the zoning classifications are mainly residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. So for buildings to be able for buildings to be built, permits are required in terms of zoning clearance, building permit, environmental clearance certificate for large-scale projects, and occupancy permit after construction. And the key laws which guide the development and building regulations is the Urban Development and Housing Act, Subdivision and Condominium Buyers Protective Degree, and Real Estate Service Act 9646, which regulates the real estate professions. Now, in terms of the mortgage system, this is governed by the Civil Code, the General Banking Law, and BSP regulations. So mortgages must be registered with the Register of Deeds and annotated on the title. And the zoning classifications, again, are residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. So the type of loans that any entity can get would include home acquisition loans, construction loans, and refinancing and equity loans. And foreclosures are governed by Act number 3135 and BSP circulars. Or also included are judicial and extrajudicial foreclosure options. And the buyers are protected with what we call the Maceda law, which protects buyers under installment plans, offering grace periods and refund rights. Now, going into the very controversial impact of tariffs in the Philippines, in the light of recent global tensions, has been nuanced and multifaceted. So, as you can see, in the Philippines, in 2025, the U.S. imposed a 17% tariff on all goods from the Philippines as part of its reciprocal tariffs policy, which I think has been amended to 19%. So this was lower than tariffs imposed on other countries like Vietnam and Cambodia, making Philippine goods relatively more competitive in the US market. So what do we think is the economic impact of this act? Is that according to the National Economic and Development Authority, the overall impact on GDP is minimal, estimated at less than 1%. In fact, the Philippines may benefit slightly up to 0.5% of the GDP due to trade diversion from countries hit with higher tariffs and increased demand for Philippine exports like electronics, garments, and agricultural products. It also impacts trade diversifications. So the tariffs have encouraged the Philippines to diversify trade partners, especially within ASEAN and East Asia. And exporters are exploring non-US markets to reduce dependency and mitigate risks. In terms of domestic industry effects, exporters may face higher costs and reduce margins in the US market. And consumers could see price increases on imported goods if retaliatory tariffs are imposed. And the small to medium businesses may struggle to absorb the added costs or shift markets quickly. So what are the strategic opportunities that we are looking at? The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry sees this as a window of opportunity to strengthen trade ties with the US, promote value-added exports, attract foreign investments in manufacturing and logistics. And but in terms of risks and uncertainties, a prolonged trade war could slow global demand, disrupt supply chains, affect remittances from OFWs in the US if job losses occur. So in conclusion, while nations may differ vastly in terms of economic capacity, institutional frameworks, and forms of governance, the differences do not solely determine the developmental outcomes. So history and contemporary examples alike have shown that even countries with limited resources or complex political systems can achieve remarkable progress when guided by strong, consistent, and visionary leadership. Political will or the commitment of leaders to prioritize the public good, implement reforms, and uphold accountability emerges as the most decisive factor in shaping a nation's trajectory. It's this will that mobilizes resources, inspires public trust, and drives policy continuity across administrations. Therefore, despite the disparities in economic structures and governmental modes, it is ultimately political will that serves as the true engine of national success and sustainable development. And with that, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share our country and our real estate market to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marissa, for your very comprehensive presentation. I have learned a lot. Thank you very much. If possible, can I ask some questions? The number one is about the English language literacy, the strengths of your country. As you mentioned, the Philippines is one of a few Asian countries where many people can speak English very well. And it is a big advantage to deal with foreign countries. So I would like to know a little bit about the historical background, why and how about such advantage.
I think it starts with education. English has been the main language that's being used since elementary. Even preschool. Our students learn English. Filipino or Tagalog as our national language is only an option, so it's spoken usually in the household, but in the educational institutions it's always English. And I think one of the biggest influence would be the social media.
Mm.
in terms of our young population.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think even in Japan, the younger people can speak English more than before. I mean, than our generations. So, thank you so much. So the second question is about the relationship between the USA and the Philippines. The Philippines has had close ties with the United States, not only in politics and economy, but also in terms of the human resources. So do you think that it remains the same even under the tariff war situation?
Yes, the Philippines has have had a very strong relationship with the United States, and this can be seen with, like, in every Filipino family, there is someone from that family who has migrated to the United States, and it's in every Filipino family. So it also stems from the fact that we were colonized by the Americans. The Americans, after the war, the Philippines were here, and also U.S. has a very very big influence on our education and our legal systems. So I think that's where it emanates. That's where it emanates, that relationship. And over the years, the continuous migration of Filipinos to the U.S. If you can see it, I think if I've given, I didn't get that information, but if you are going to look at the data of number of migrants from the Philippines to the U.S., I think the Philippines will be having one of the largest number in terms of migrants.
Noted. Thank you very much. So the final question, can I get a little bit about the trend in global investors, whether the global investors very active to invest to the real estate to the Philippines?
So as I mentioned in the presentation, we have having a hard time attracting global investment. It's because of basically it's the bureaucratic way of having a business here in the Philippines, and also the limitation in terms of land ownership. So I see it as a downside in terms of inviting investors to the Philippines. And right now, among the in the real estate sector, the one that is very attractive is the logistics market. So I think that one is because we have a good number of facilities, but in terms of other sector, as I mentioned, hotel is not that attractive because we don't have that much tourists. Um, um, Definitely office has suffered a lot because of the POGO exodus, and the residential market. I think because of the residential market, we are not attracting that much in terms of investors coming into the Philippines.
I see. Interesting. So time is short. Thank you very much again to Marissa, and then let's move on to the second country. So the second country, the Kingdom of Cambodia. So we have Mr. Hoem Seiha, the investment analyst and consultant in EIA Data Intel Company. Seiha, it's your turn. Please include your self-introduction at the beginning. Please take it away.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Takashi, for this introduction. And I'm Hoem Seiha, a partner at the EOA Data Intel and a part of EOA Cambodia Real Estate. Yeah, so today I'm so happy to share about Cambodia economies and the real estate market at this COE console event. Yeah. So I would like to share my presentation now.
That's perfect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I've been in real estate for many years, and recently I joined ELA for investment analysis. So now look at the Cambodia. At a glance, Cambodia has the area of 181 square meters, and the GDP recently recorded at 33.8 billions, and even though in 2025 will be around 40 billion of US dollar. The Cambodia municipality and the provincial is 21 plus 1. What is capital? So it's 25 provinces. So one capital is the Cambodia is Phnom Penh City. The population of Cambodia is 17 million, and the urban population ratio is 26, and the population density is 100 per square kilometer. And the growth is 1% annually. And the Cambodia economy based on three sectors, that is the big contributor to the economy. First one is manufacturing and processing. So it is garment and non-garment processing. So it is the big man contributor to the GDP. And the second one is tourism and service related sector. So this one also largely contribute to the GDP. And the last one is agriculture. So not all these three, but there are some other sector that are so small compared to these three men. So like real estate and many other related services and finance sectors and transportation and so on. So those are some share to the growth of the GDP as well. So the GDP in Cambodia recently in 2024, it is 6% of growth, and 2025 predicted at 6.3%. And in the long future, so because there's tax tariff from US recently, it's 19% tax, so it will be some changes in the prediction. External trade in Cambodia here as reported by authorities and World Bank. So the trade of balance will be improved in 2025, even though in the past several years the trade balance is not yet good because we import more than we export. So the balance will be around 1 billion in 2025. So the trade that we export and import, the major export is to EU and market and to the US market. So now we go to the real estate sectors. In here is the land prices in the CBD area. So we don't count on peri-urban area. We just count on only the CBD area. So there's in CBD area, the price growth of the land is annually around 2%, especially in BKK areas and area that are so central in the Phnom Penh city. And for here is the office market supplies by years and cumulative supply in square meter. Here the recently the market supply up to 1.3 million of square meter in total of office supply. And per year the growth is just recently less than 10 years that the market grow. Sometimes it reach 1 year up to 100 of square meter entry to the market. So even though in the growth is large, but since COVID, there's also styles, but the market recover back after that. The market structure for the office supplies in Cambodia. Here is the types of market here is largely contributed by leaseholds and strata title building and standalone microfinance office space. So this three main supply belongs to this kind of three. The first one is a leasehold. The building is owned by one corporate company, and they sublease to the other small company. And the second type is the strata title. So they sell the buildings to sell the each unit to the client, so the client can own the office space as well. So there are many standalone MFI finance institution that they share the office in the standalone office. So this also contribute a lot to the office space. So there is the office structure. Even though those of the office, the occupancy rate around 70%. Yeah. So here we goes to retail estate market. Up to recently, the retail market contributes to the market in Phnom Penh, and overall it's around 1.6 million of square meter in total. And per year, the new entries to the market. Look at the supply by that area is around 200,000 in the last few years, but in the 2022, 2023, it becoming less because of the impact of from COVID, and also the oversupply and the occupancy rate less, so they slow down the supply in recent years as well. So each year up to 2023, the new supplies is only 60,000 square meter only. Yeah. So the retail space supply by ties, the structure is that the shopping mall contribute almost half of the market. So it's 600 square meter in total, and other supply like open air, old fashioned market, because Cambodia is a new development country. So the open air and old fashioned market still exists in here. I hope you understand this old fashioned markets. So it's non-air conditioning and open airs. So the market is very traditional in traditional way and old fashioned. So it's also contribute largely to the overall of retail space. So it's up to 470,000 square meter of the total. So other retail space supply, mixed-use building, it's here also large, but it is not like shopping mall and old-fashioned, old-fashioned market. So the retail arcades and supermarket are less. So those are the structure that contributes to the market. About condominium residential market in Cambodia, throughout the Phnom Penh market, the previous plan launch and versus the actual completed up to today, there are around 80,000 units of the total residential condominium supplies that are completed. And even though the because before COVID, a lot of condominium are coming to supply in Phnom Penh, even though they are in the pipeline and the planning. But after COVID, they have the impact, so they slow down their projects. So the actual real completed project only 80,000 units that are up to that. So here is the map in Phnom Penh that show a condominium scattered across the city. Mostly they located in the CBD, Central Business District here. We see the circle, but after the land prices starting to increase much, so they started to crawl up to the peri-urban area as well, especially within 2016 to 2023. So the condominium they start to spread outside the CBD because of land prices increasing in the CBD area. So for the tourism and hospitality and lodging industry here, Cambodia recently the data show that 2024 the tourism is around 5 million in 2024, and 2025 is predicted to be around 5.8 million of tourists coming to Cambodia. And the Cambodia tourist structure is largely contributed by also internal domestic tourists as well. So in the real data here, the tourists inbound from international arrival year from 2019 to 2014, the Cambodia tourist is by 2014, the total is 4.8 million. However, the before COVID, the arrival by air mode is around 3 million in 2019, sorry, and up to recently because of COVID and uncertainty in the tourism market, the arrival by air mode is decreasing, not yet to the pre-COVID level. I mean, they are increasing, but not according to the pre-COVID level, because the pre-COVID level in before 2019 is 3.3 million, but 2014 it's only 1.7 million by air mode. And the even though the tourist number is 4.8 by 2014, the 24, sorry, the land mode arrival by land mode is more, it's up to 3 million because of neighboring country like Thailand and Vietnam increase from Europe and from rest of world slow. Yeah. And local domestic tourists also grow thanks to improve infrastructure. Even though we see that the tourist arrival by air mode from rest of the world, not to the pre-COVID level, but the neighboring country like Thailand and Vietnam increasing, and also the domestic tourist also drive the market as well because of household incomes and the infrastructure improves a lot. So like the prefer like the booking website app contributes to the tourist place as well, because they contribute to the 47 of millennials group of people who come to Cambodia throughout the using the website for booking. Yeah, and like Gen Z's, generation Z's, and those are the driver for Cambodia tourists. They use TikToks and other social media as a source of travel inspiration. Yes. For hotel occupancy, recently the occupancy is around 75% or up to 8% recently, due to the we decrease in new launch of supply of hotel, but the previous hotel started to recover and started to get more occupancy, especially in recent years. We also have impact in 2020 2021 due to COVID as well. So for the hotel and apartment forecast, we forecast that the key and the unit that will be necessary for the supply in Phnom Penh city. It's around it should be around 56,000 of key and unit for the apartment and for the hotel combined to supply to the for the tourists. Yeah, for the lodging industry growing fast in this decade. In this decade, the lodging industry is very growing fast due to tourists coming to visit Cambodia, and also boosted by the local inspirations to the destination outside Phnom Penh city. So Cambodia is rich with the natural beauty such as long and beauty beaches and accessible beauty island, high mountains, and especially amazing cultural heritage destination. With the growing and enriching middle class household, internal domestic tourists also grow fast in the last decade, and new leisure and hobby become more interested by the local tourists as well, not only the international tourists. So thank you. That is all for my presentation.
Thank you very much, Seiha. It's quite informative, good statistics, and I really learned a lot about Cambodian current market trend. Some questions, please. The first question is about the land title in your country. So, what's the typical home of the real estate tenure in Cambodia? Whether the land is like a freehold or the leasehold, or if we call like a fee simple or lease fee. Any restrictions against the foreign ownership also?
Yes, for the tenures in Cambodia structure is we have three tenure structure. The first one is freehold, mainly as a freehold for mostly for Cambodia citizen, and this is the most prominent in Cambodia. And another is the leasehold. The leasehold structure can be 15 years to 50 years, and can be renewable up to 99 years based on condition. Yes. And the third one is the strata title. Strata title one. It is the strata title mostly for condominium and a building that have multiple owners. So office space and condominium as an example for a strata title. So for the strata title, the owner should be around 70% foreigner. The foreigner can own up to 70% of the total building area, and but they cannot own the ground floor and the base, like underground. Yeah. So it usually from basement to fifth floor. It is generally for facilities and for retail space. So it must be owned by Cambodian. Yes. And from the fifth floor onward, it can be owned by a foreigner. Yes. So up
I
to
see.
70%.
Yeah. Just to clarify, the foreigner can get the leasehold of the land in Cambodia?
The foreigner can get the leasehold, yeah, through
Okay.
the corporate company. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second question is about the global investment trends. I believe that the investment from China must have been increasing substantially towards Cambodia. But is there any Western countries that have increased its presence in Cambodia recently? Can you name any Western countries if there is?
Yeah, of course. Through the number, the mostly from China, half of the FDI in Cambodia, and followed by Koreas and South Koreas and Japan's and some other Asian country. Even though we have EU country and USA as well, but they are very minimal. So yes, not largely like Asian country. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And the third question is about the tourism industry. It was a lot of surprising that the travelers by air has not yet recovered yet compared to the pre-pandemic period, but the arrivals by land have doubled from the pre-pandemic. So is it because tourists only from neighboring countries have increased, or is there any other reason of the delay of the air travelers coming back?
Yeah, the back again for the tourism industry in Cambodia, for the air mode arrival by air mode in the previous COVID, it's more in coming, but after COVID, the number tries to recover, so it is not yet in the pre COVID history yet. And also the government during that time also the government tries to do a lot with the tourists from neighboring country by giving incentives. So Vietnam's and Thailand are the source of tourists coming on land using land transportation. So this largely increase, yeah, a lot. And also for the air mode, because now we have newly supplied the air, the new international airport in Phnom Penh. So this airport is larger and more international standard. It will increase in the next coming years, and starting from this year. So we will wait and see how this will increase the tourists, because the previous airport it's not obsolete, but we will stop using it and start the new one, and the new one will have more capacity, like direct flight from Europe. So this will allow more air mode. Yeah. So we believe that.
So the recovery is coming soon.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the recovery
Yeah.
coming. Yeah.
So actually, we don't have the direct flight from Tokyo to any cities in Cambodia. So I hope that we can get the direct flight very soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Seiha, thank you very much. We need to move on to the next.
Yeah.
So, okay, the last but not least, we welcome the speaker from Indonesia, Ms. Susan Widjojo, whom I have worked together for several times before with some variation assignments. Hello, my friend. Please start your session.
Okay, thank you, Nakazawa-san. Thank you for the introduction. Let me share the presentation. Thank you for the great opportunity to be the speaker in this CRE panel discussion. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Susan Widjojo. I'm the managing partner of Susan Widjojo and Partners Valuation and Consultancy firm. So I've already in real estate valuation and consultancy more than 20 years, and I'm a certified public appraisal and currently posed as a Secretary General of ASEAN Valuer Association, and I'm also active in Indonesia Valuer Association called MAPI as head of international affairs and also the certification examination board, capital market valuation board, and also in a valuation standard committee. Okay, I would like to start my presentation, and today there's some topic that I would like to present, and it start with a brief overview about the economic and demographic situation in Indonesia, then continue with the real estate market update, and I also would like to introduce to all of the viewers about the legal aspect of the property ownership in Indonesia, and as well as the investor opportunity. Then I'm going to close the presentation with the special topic about the Indonesia new capital city called Nusantara. So Indonesia, as you see in this globe, that Indonesia is situated in between of two continents, which is Asia continent and Australia continent. We have 17,380 islands spread along the country with a total area of 1.9 million square kilometer, with the population of 285 millions, and we were ranked as the fourth largest population country after USA, India, and China. The density per square kilometer is 158 person. And the existing capital city is Jakarta, and our official language is Indonesian with the currency rupiah, and we have 98 capital city in 36 province. Our political system is a republic. As you can see here, the demographic economic condition of Indonesia. So the GDP growth in Indonesia has not shown any significant changes since the 2022. It stayed around 4.87, but the government expects in 2055, it will reach until 8. Then the top three distribution of the GDP are from the sector of manufacturing industry, trade, and agriculture. You can see the detail of the distribution and GDP growth based on the economic sector as on the right table. And we have year-on-year inflation by June 2025 was 1.87%, but it's expected on this annually in Indonesia will be from 1.5% to 2.5% of inflation. Then next, you know, as I've mentioned before that we have 285 people of population, and with the average increasing yearly change of around 0.8%, and the global ranking as the fourth on the population world population, and the median age of population is quite young, is 30.4 years old. And the majority is the type of the population is the urban population as compared of the rural population. So the movement urbanization from the rural to go to the urban and the big city is still I mean on a progress. As you see that we have the 30.4 age years of the young population, and we also have 285 million of population. It become the driven factor for the economic strength of Indonesia. We also have a diverse and resource-rich economy and strategic geographic location between the two big continents in Asia and Australia. I will give you also for the next slide is the real estate market. Start with the residential. After the COVID, actually, the property market in Indonesia quite sour. Therefore, the government in 2022 implemented a property tax incentive policy. So the government deducted the property tax, the luxury property tax for the transaction in a range between the 100% to 33%, depend on the period of the transaction. And this policy actually drive the market to move, and then the price growth reached its peak in 2022 for the medium houses. And also you can see that for the home purchase search in 2024 grew evenly across all segments, with the modest house segment leading annual growth of at 143%. How about the market of the real estate of the market of office? So as happened to any other neighbor country, after the COVID, the first one have a very big impact is the office real estate market. In 2022, the price growth for office strata title dropped by 1.92%, but it increased gradually toward the 2025. The supply and demand growth for office strata peaked in 2021. This is because of the need of office for researchers and the supply from failing business during the COVID. How about the real estate market on a retail sector? Price growth for retail strata increased significantly in 2019. And as you see on this two table supply growth and demand growth, there is no any improvement or on the supply or demand. So people prefer to have a lease retail rather than strata retail. So you can see on the two table above that there is a flat for growth for retail strata throughout the year, and as well as the demand. But on a 2024, on a retail, you can see there is a notable spike by 4.90%, 3% for the supply growth, and for the demand growth is around 4.48%. How about for the hospitality? You can on the table there's a blue one is about the apartment lease, service apartment, and also the yellow one is a hotel. Price drop in 2022 and then peak in price drop in 2022, but then stabilize on the year ahead. And also the supply dip from the 2018 to 2021, but rebounds back by 2025. The demand suspect to nearly normal in 2022 for hotel and 2023 for apartment lease after the COVID. The industrial sector in Indonesia, the industrial sector for in Indonesia, it dominated by the manufacture. Manufacture actually really contribute like 41.3%, while the automotive related sector contribute around 24.1% of the total demand for industrial estate. Indonesia embarked on its journey of electrical vehicle car manufactured in 2022, and then it became the significant milestone for the country with the large population and substantial nickel reserve, which are crucial for electrical vehicle battery, make Indonesia become the most attractive market for the investor. This result actually is not only for the EV production, but also related sector like battery manufacture and also smelting, nickel smelting. Currently, the car company has operating plants in the country. Is a Hyundai, Wuling, Chery, DFSK, Neta, all is a China cars company. And also another one will go into the market and also start a manufacture in Indonesia is from the Vietnam, VinFast. And also the big manufacturer car named BYD will start the operation, their manufacturing of the plant in 2026. In conclusion, the EV boom in Indonesia presents a significant opportunity for the real estate market and also the labor market, particularly within the logistic and industrial sector. Okay, the next one is the title of ownership type in Indonesia. We have a freehold title. Freehold title actually is the only entitled for the Indonesian local citizen. It's only given to the Indonesian, but not entitled for the foreigner. How about the foreigner? The foreigner can go to the right of use title. But if the foreigners want to have a right to build title, the right to build title is almost the same as the leasehold. They can set up a company in Indonesia, and then they can get the title of ownership for the property and land in Indonesia under this company name. And we also have the right to cultivate. Right to cultivate is given to the company who like to open a plantation in Indonesia. And this title, right to build title, right to of use title, usually is like 30 years, 20 plus 20 years plus another 20 years. So total is around 80 years. Is and the register of the building, we have what we call as a building permit. And this building permit in 2021 was changed to the name of the building approval, and is an online single submission and approval of spatial sustainability. So the government to try to simplify all the process of the development in Indonesia in order to attract the foreign investor to do some investment project in Indonesia. Next, the property investment regulation for the foreigners. There is several limitations, several regulation for the foreigners who would like to invest in Indonesia. So in terms of the type of the property and ownership, it's restricted of the ownership of the land to less than 2,000 square meter, and it has to be located in a major city and also tourist destination. And it will be given under hak pakai or right to use, and also hak bangunan or right to build. Freehold is not permitted for foreign ownership. How about the price? You can buy the property, but under the minimum price purchase, which is for the and the type and the it depend on the region and type of the properties. In Jakarta, at least you have to buy over 10 billion rupiah for the apartment and 5 billion for this is for the residential housing. But in Bali, it can be ranged from 2 to 3 billion rupiah. And also for the ownership duration, as I mentioned before, for the legal status, the leaseholds are typically granted for the 25 to 30 years with the some phase of the extension and with the option available for extension for up to 80 years. Okay, I would like to end my presentation with a special topic about the relocation of the capital. In Indonesia, currently we have another a new capital city which is located in Kalimantan Island. This is the map of the Indonesia, and this is Jakarta on below. There is a 1 hour flight from Jakarta to new capital city called Nusantara. It's located on the west of Kalimantan and expected all the development will be completed by 2045. Currently, we already have one first phase of the development, and I will explain to you later about this development. The reason for the movement from Jakarta to Nusantara in the west of Kalimantan, because Jakarta currently is overpopulation. So in the Jakarta itself, Jakarta city, we already have 11 million of a population, and but the greater Jakarta, including all the supporting suburb area, in total is a 32 million population. And every day there is a commute between suburb to Jakarta, and it's create a very bad traffic jam along the toll road from one suburb to the part of the Jakarta. And therefore, the government would like to decentralize urban growth. And for this new capital city we call this a Nusantara or IKN, it will be the future proofing and smart city development in Indonesia. And we can see the potential growth in this new city for another island of Indonesia. It will increase demand with low starting price and also potential private and foreign investment with the low starting price and big profitability. So the relocation of to IKN isn't just a government move, it's a catalyst for long-term property value creation across East Kalimantan. So it will not only decentralize in Java Island, which is already like 1/3 of the population in Indonesia. So it has to be spread to the economic development to another island of Indonesia. So this is the concept and special planning of IKN. It will be the smart forest city. The existing condition of the development actually before is the big forest in West Kalimantan. Then the government will keep the net 63% of the forest on the development. So this will be the high green space coverage, smart city technology integration, sustainable water and waste system, sustainable mobility and biodiversity conservation, which is inclusive and healthy community life. This is the first progress of our new capital city. Currently, first phase 1 of the government building is nearly complete, 96%. Road and toll access are progressing on schedule. The phase 2 will focus on the expansion, more ministry, legislative, judicial building, and new urban zone. Then full city development will be complete by 2045. So this IKN will be the new capital city in terms of the politics, So all the government office, the presidential palace, and all the ministry supporting will be moved to the new capital city in a next few years. The problem with this movement is who's going to start, actually to move there. That's there's some part actually is still very quiet and not so much activity, and therefore hopefully that new investor, either local or foreign investor, will coming to this area and make the development become robust and crowded with the population too. Okay, thank you. This is my end of presentation. And once again, thank you for the opportunity to be the presenter in this event.
Thank you very much, Susan, for the great presentations. So some questions. The number one is about the electric vehicle industry. Talking about the EVs, I saw the slide that the most of the car manufacturers are coming from China and Korea. And I just wondered if there are any conventional car companies from the Western countries, as well as is there any shift of the Japanese car industries from the engine to the EVs in Indonesia?
So in Indonesia, it's already a long time ago that some manufacture company, assembly company from other than China company, like Honda, Toyota, Suzuki, and Nissan actually is already established a long time ago in Indonesia, as well as there's assembly company from Mercedes and also BMW. Also have is already operated and established in Indonesia. So the newcomer is from China with the EV car, but most of another company from like Japan car manufacturer, they go for hybrid car rather than the EV currently in Indonesia.
I see. Okay, so the second question is about the capital city relocation project, the Nusantara project. It's a quite dynamic topic, and then actually in Japan we also have the problems of the centralization, too much to the overpopulation, kind of, to Tokyo, and then we have the controversial for decades to move the capital. Some functions of the capital of Tokyo in order to resolve the serious problems due to extreme concentration. But it has never been materialized. So my question is, how long did it take to the government in Indonesia to decide to relocate the capital? Yeah.
So I think it's almost the same as Japan. It's not easy actually to build a new capital city. The idea of moving the capital city of Jakarta actually has been started since 1957 during our first President Sukarno, but never been realized until 2019, 6 years ago. That's during the President Jokowi. He really took an action for the planning to develop a new capital city in a Kalimantan Island, despite all the controversy and also the rejection from the other political opposition. But the physical condition of the development started in 2022, 3 years ago, with the development of infrastructure, government office, and presidential palace and minister housing. So if you see in my previous presentation, the development is still under construction. Yeah, and the new capital's planning city is only for the political capital city. However, we hope that with the moving of all the government sector, all the supporting manpower will also be moved and be facilitated in the area, and all the investor will come to develop the island. The Kalimantan Island actually is known as one of the richest island, richest city with all the natural resources since a long time ago, like from the oil and all the mining sector, and also a palm oil plantation. So the selection of the area as the new capital city is a good opportunity for any investor who would like to come to Indonesia.
I see. Interesting. So is that not only for the governmental functions or administration, but also how about the people, like Jakarta citizens, that they would like to move to the new capital in the future? Do you have any kind of data about it?
So this is the controversial now, actually, yes. All the building has been built, but not so many people eager to move there. So I think the government has to take an action. But currently, the planning has been halted for, because of the situation of the Indonesian economic. It will need a lot of investment fund to build the new city, and government now focus on after the COVID, after the crisis, everything. The government now more concentrate on the development for the economic first rather than to concentrate on the new capital city.
Okay, thank you so much. So the final question is about the global investment trends. The global investors active in the real estate investment market towards Indonesia. Please tell me some examples of how global investors are active in the real estate market in Indonesia.
Okay. So at this moment, the global investors are quite active more on a manufacture, in the industry and logistics center services, and also in a digital IT sector, but slowing down in the real estate sector due to the weakening purchasing power of the people and reduced need for the office space. Yeah, this is the current situation of the investment in Indonesia.
Yeah, actually, you have more and more inquiries for the valuations in Indonesia from Japanese institutional investors. Okay, thank you again to all the panelists. We're able to gain deep insights into the country's current state of the real estate markets in the 3 countries today. So maybe time is too short, and I'll wrap up this session. John?
Thank you,
Thank-
Marissa, Hoem, Seiha, Susan, and Takashi. That was a great overview. This is a step forward and a study in contrast from our last webinar, and a useful guide to anyone looking to examine international markets. We also want to thank the team that makes this international collaboration possible. Larissa Phillips, Cassandra Coriel, R.J. Cereals in Chicago, and Mariko Uchiyama in Tokyo, who work to coordinate time zones, video formats, and questions to put this together. I know it's very hard, and Hiro does too. And I also thank you, to Concerts of Real Estate Foundation, which provided a grant to help with cost of bringing all of this together. Please look for details soon on incoming What's Next sessions, including our next webinar that will take us to Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. Until next time, on behalf of Concerts of Real Estate, thank you for attending this session of What's Next for Real Estate and the Life Experience.